Hi friends, this is a VR to Bushcraft Bartons knife carving video. I'm out here near Hawkesbury, getting a little bush time in, a little dirt time, and I figured there's no better time to try it out than now. I've already scoped out a couple of trees, and let's go see what's what. So I opted for this standing dead maple. Yeah, I know. Standing dead maple, eh? With a knife? Yeah, I know. It's gonna be trouble, but you know, better than taking out a perfectly good tree, I think. You know what? I'll start on it and see how it goes. If not, there's plenty of trees in this forest. So the challenge was to use your favorite knife, which in my case is not my best carving knife. It's my woodlore clone, my Campbell. What I'm gonna make is a butter knife. So it's not gonna be very pointy, and I may actually go for it swooping upwards on the handle, you know, when you're buttering. So let's see how we get on, shall we? Funny how different a knife is than a spoon. Like I've done a bunch of spoons by now, so I kind of know what I'm doing. But this is this is kind of new territory for me. Like I'm unsure about how much I should be taking away versus you know, how much I should be leaving in. I've decided, as I said, I've stuck with the idea of leaving it curving downward instead of up for when we're spreading butter or peanut butter with it. I think that was the right choice. Well, we'll just see how good this ends up. In the end, it's still way too thick up here, I find. Like, because it's a wooden knife, I'm going to leave it thicker than a metal knife would be, obviously. But I think that's still just a little too meaty up there. So I'm going to take it down a bit more. I'm going to work a little more on shaping the tip. It's going to be a fairly blunt point for, purposes of buttering. And I'm gonna take the bark off the handle. I'm going to trim it down a little bit. You guys who've seen the video where I was showing off, I got the Villa Sundqvist Swedish carving book. That has changed the way I see carving, because now I know something about what I'm doing. Like I've been trying to use the positions and the holds that he outlines in the book. I find that they're a little harder with this big a knife, but it still works. It's still legit. I feel a little more confident even with this big knife than I did before. I decided to finally embrace the knife. Remember in my spoon carving video, I had said that, you know, it was sort of a source of pride that all I used was an axe and a spoon knife, but I find that I can get a much finer line going with like a Sloyd knife, and actually even this knife, to be honest with you, than I can with just my my little Wetterling's axe, you know. So I've sort of gone to the knife more. Sometimes it's also because I'm trying to do not spoons that are more like in the Sundqvist book. I know I could get it out if I just kept trying. If I'm still doing like those basic spoons like I used to do, I'll just knock one out with the axe completely and the spoon knife. But that's more like just for fun than trying to develop my skills, you know. So yeah, I have no regrets going for the Sloyd knife in the end. I don't feel like I've given anything up. I just feel like I've gained a new tool in the box, you know. You can never have too many tools in the toolbox, can you? Gotcha. So I'm just smoothing it off now because I don't want to use sandpaper on it. So I'm faceting like all the sharp edges, like where I sawed it. I'm faceting them off. Chamfering, I think they call it. People in the know. I think, you know, this isn't a very fancy knife. I saw a couple of guys, you know, putting choils and everything in them. I didn't do any of that because I wanted to make a butter knife. But what I really tried to do was keep this part really smooth. And I think you can see I've succeeded in that. I mean, there's no sun here, so, but it's really smooth. It's, you know, it's even thicker than my wood lore, but I wanted to keep it fairly thick because of, like, if I'm using peanut butter, you know, or something thick and hard, you know. So it's not a 4mm thick blade, it's more like a 5. But I've got it smooth as a baby's bottom. It's still a little faceted, but I mean, there's nothing rough on it, you know. So hold on, there. Yeah, and I've sort of faceted off like all the edges, like along up here too. I've sort of just taken a very tiny amount, just taken the edge off a little bit, because that way there's nothing to chip or anything, you know. So there it is. One butter knife. Feels good in the hand. I've been playing with it all afternoon to get it sort of, you know. I keep seeing things that I want to smooth out, like right there was a bit of a rough spot. That's the nice thing about having a sharp knife. You don't have to sand, you know, provided your knife is in fact sharp enough. You don't have to sand afterwards. It's perfectly smooth. It's very usable. So, a little coating of mineral oil. Shines it right up. So, there she is, all oiled up. Like the way it brings out the grain. I mean, maple is not an extremely grain intense wood, but the nice thing about the oil is it sort of makes it look a little nicer, but it protects it as well. So, I like it. I'm happy with it, and I'm actually going to use it. My entry. Good luck to everyone else who's entered. May the best knife win. This is mostly a maple. There's some oak over there as well, but every now and again there's actually like a balsam, you know, a fir or a spruce. So I went hunting for one because I like them for starting fires. Down to some nice embers, some nice hot embers, so time for a snack. And to just sort of sit back and enjoy being outside. It's a really nice way to end a week. I don't get to do it nearly often enough, but when I do, I sure love it. So I guess thanks for joining me today. Mike, I hope you like the knife that I carved for you. And I'm just going to kick back for another couple of hours here, and I'm going to clean up and I guess go to the cabin where my family is. Just as a note, all those scraps that I made carving leave no trace, right? I used most of them for fire starter, and I'm just going to throw in whatever's left here. I was pretty good about keeping it all in one place. So I'm just going to burn it up, clean up, and walk on out of here. So thanks again. I guess that's all she wrote. Thanks for watching, guys.